Doing all right?
Good, how are you?
Good. Okay, I don't remember what number practice this is, but another good day. I thought we got out a little early day and got some good work in. Did some 2-minute work, which I thought was really good. We did that the last practice as well, just putting them in different situations, seeing how they react, maybe using our last plays and different scenarios. And it was kind of a controlled deal where coach could set up the different scenarios, but I thought we got a lot of work there. Got some work versus the defense, which is always good, and then obviously scout work for the first time, so that was good as well. Preparing for our opponent, which is 2 weeks from tonight. We're excited about that, but overall I thought we had great energy, great attitude, great body language. Everybody moved around well, and I thought we had a really good practice. Okay, questions?
So we just talked to Matt Lee. What do you like about the offensive line? How has that unit come together? Obviously, Matt's one of the returners. There's some new faces there as well.
Yeah, the veteran presence, I think, is something that sticks out to me. You know, you got a lot of guys, 3 guys back that obviously were playing here last year, and then the other 2 guys that we brought in played at their places. So we got some experience there. I think Coach Ham's done a really nice job of getting them all on the same page very quickly. They seem to communicate well, and that's through the first 2 groups, which is always big in offensive line play because it's easy to draw circles and letters up there and block this guy or that guy, but then when they change the defense or move after the snap, there's all kind of variables that play into that. So I think he's done a really nice job of putting that group on the same page. They're a blue-collar group. They lace it up and go to work every day. There's not a lot of complaining, not any drama. I think that's exactly what you want out of your O-line.
2 weeks, you said, from the first game. How close do you feel like you guys are to naming the starter?
Yeah, you know, I'm hoping we're closer and closer each and every day. We're really not ready to make that decision yet, I don't think. But I'll tell you what I've seen of both of them. I told you back in, I think, the spring, competition really brings out the best in everybody. And you can see that those 2 guys are really fighting their guts out, competing every day, and which is fun. That's fun to see because you see that sense of urgency. And now Thomas is coming along as well. And so the future's bright. I think they're both, Mikey and John Rice both, like I said, very competitive, very dialed into what we're trying to do. And obviously I think, you know, we can win with either one of them. There's no doubt in my mind. And at some point we'll have to make a decision, but that'll be up to coach.
What stood out to you about each of the guys in these situation-based drills you've been running?
Yeah, I think we've taken care of the ball in both those situations, which is good. Like 2 minutes I mentioned earlier, you know, and we've given them different scenarios. Hey, we're down 3 or we're down 7, you know, this time or that time, no timeouts, 1 timeout. Just watching and, you know, prepping them before we go out. Hey, if we're in this scenario, this is what we're thinking, okay? This is the yard line where we're at to kick a field goal. You know, if you want to take touchdowns or checkdowns, you don't want to turn the ball over or take a sack. You know, those scenarios, I think they've handled them well. And then when we go in and watch the film, it's always good to hear them talk it out, what was going through their mind. I like to do that a lot with our guys. And you know, we got 2 smart guys, really 3 smart guys at quarterback. They were the best players on their high school teams. They were played at other places, and they're smart guys that it means a lot to. So they do a great job preparing, and every day is an opportunity to learn, and they're taking advantage of that.
At this point in camp, why do you think, though, starter hasn't emerged? Coach Malzahn thought that by this point,
probably just
clear.
No reason, just hadn't decided yet. You know, but I guess it's more than anything. I mean, I don't think there's a certain blueprint of when you got to have it done. I think it's just when you know, and of course you'd like to know last spring, but obviously we didn't. So I just think it's one of those things we want to give them as many opportunities as we can before we feel like we have to make a decision, and then go with it from there.
Where do you think this decision falls in the timeline of the game plan for the opener? Would you like to have that at a certain number of days? Well,
no, we've already game planned some in practice. Different parts of practice we'll game plan for our opponent. So, I don't think it's a huge factor. In fact, game planning a lot of times is easier because you got less plays. Like when you're installing plays, different plays every day. So you don't repeat for maybe every 4th day you start repeating. So I think people don't really understand that. A lot of times when you're game planning, you're narrowing things down because you can only run so many plays in a game, right? So in practice, during a fall camp, man, it's install 1, install 2, install 3, then you're coming back a little bit of install 1. Now we're doing it at a different formation, so it's a lot. When you start game planning and narrow things down, and then when you decide on the quarterback or whatever position you're looking at, it's more, okay, now let's narrow it down even more onto what he does well, tailor it to his strengths and needs and so forth. So But to answer your question, we have started a little bit of game planning, which is normal this time of year, and obviously starting next week, we'll lock in totally.
What is the best part of Mikey Keane's game right now? What's the element of his game that kind of maybe surpasses all the other elements?
I would say the best part of his game is his presence in the huddle, which we don't huddle. I know you're going to say that, but on the sideline, getting them ready to go out. And then just really intelligent decision making has been really good. I would say those two things really stick out.
Same question for John Rice. What's kind of the element that you think kind of sticks
Yeah,
out
I
for him?
think John Rice is obviously he's got a lot of upside, very talented, explosive athlete. But John Rice is really, you know, after not playing quarterback in a year and a half, it's amazing how much progress he's made on just the intricacies or the details of playing the position, from the right drop with a certain concept, getting us out of this play versus this look, or you know, flipping the protection the other way or whatever. Those are the things that have been impressed with me. Mikey had already had experience doing that. John Rice 2 years ago, but now back in that flow, I think I've been really impressed with how he's really, you know, developed himself. And the physical stuff, throw and run it, he can do, but there's a lot to playing quarterback other than that.
And Leslie Thomas, I know just scratching the surface of what he can do. He's only a freshman. What are kind of the things that kind of stand out to you early about what do you like about him?
I tell you what, he makes some wild plays about 2 or 3 times every practice, just whether it's a ball he throws across the field or he takes off on something. Just you can see his confidence growing from where he was in the spring to fall, just a confidence level of understanding, getting the play, boom, spitting it out, getting it done. I think he's grown tremendously. He's got a really bright future.
What more do you want to see John Rice Plumlee do over these next couple of practices?
Continue to take care of the ball, really. I mean, there's nothing more that I want to see him or Mikey do. I think it's just a matter of, you know, we're going to have to make a decision at some point, but, you know, at the end of the day, they both just continue to take care of the ball, lead the offense, and they've both done a good job of that. So it's going to be a really tough decision for sure.
Do you think they benefit by this continuing, that they continue to play off of one another, that iron sharpens iron
shoot
concept?
Yeah, competition's always good for sure. You know, I've seen over the years, I think 26 years to do this, when you, at every position, when nobody's there to push them, guys can get, you know, complacent a little bit. If they're wired the right way, they don't. We coached a kid named Nikhil Harry at Arizona State that was a first-round pick. It didn't matter if he was going against air. It didn't matter if it was a scout team or an opponent. He went full speed every time, every rep, practice, and all that. Some guys are wired that way. Unfortunately, some aren't. You have to encourage them a little bit. But no, I think it's been good, and you know, and that competition will always be there throughout the whole season. I mean, you know, it's a long season. A lot of things can happen. So
the offensive guys, I know obviously they're going to do whatever the coaching staff says, but are they getting a little antsy at all? Is there some talk at all, and, you know, amongst those guys? Hey, let's pull the trigger here and see what's going on.
No, I don't think so. Like Matt, I don't even know if they know who's back there. A lot of times the O-line just, you know, it's not like there's 2 booming voices. They're the same kind of voice, and yeah, I don't think that's not a factor at all.
And wide receiver, obviously Ryan O'Keefe comes back. There's some new guys, some new transfers. There's some separation there with maybe identifying the top 3, 4, 5 guys.
Yeah, I think when you look at the wide receiving core, you know, we've had a couple guys banged up a little with JG got back and Xavier, you know, freshman who I think is really talented, got a really bright future. But obviously Javon Baker, a newcomer, has come in, very explosive. Ryan O'Keefe, we know what he is. He's as good as there is in the country, I think. And then Kobe Hudson's been a really good surprise. I think when you look at that group, Steve Martin's come along. You know, the tight ends, we play in 11 a lot. Obviously, Alec is what he is. He's a technician, does everything right, and Kamori Gamble's come a long ways. And I've seen some good things out of Zach, and you know, that whole group's improved. So I think we got a good rotation group that can play, and obviously Omari's down right now, so you know, we got a little bit of a gap to fill there, especially in special teams, but also in the receiver rotation. That just allows another opportunity for someone else.
Which of your peers was declared winner of the dance-off?
You know, I'm disappointed about that. I didn't make the cut, Coach said. So, you know, I don't know who really is deciding that. That's kind of the thing that's interesting to me, because I watched the video myself dancing, and I thought it was one of my better performances. My wife disagreed with that, but you know, I thought the winner. Who ended up winning that, by the way? Did they announce that? I got no idea.
That's what I was asking.
Well, I can tell you who it wasn't. Grant Hurd was not the winner. He was the worst one. So I know it wasn't last. We had
there's an extended cutout there somewhere. Is that what you're saying?
Maybe. Don't go looking for it. No, that was a lot of fun. I think it shows you Coach Malzahn and all our coaches, we love to have fun with our guys. I mean, camp's a grind. You got to figure ways to lighten things up and have a good time. You want them to get to know you as more than just the coach on the field, but have that personal relationship. And I know we did a team event 2 nights ago. We had that deal. We've had a lot of things going, and that's just what it's about, man. Growing these guys closer together and coming together and being a football team.
What's the plan for Saturday?
You know, I don't know yet. I hadn't heard. I hadn't looked that far ahead. I was just next day. You
I
know.
was just curious.
Yep.
26 years for you, when do you start getting antsy for that opening night?
There's nothing like it. You know, we got some work to do before then, but I think when you start getting the week of the game, kind of, especially this one being on a Thursday night, definitely that feeling comes. You know, I remember even as a high school coach, you know, you're getting into those Friday. There's nothing like Friday nights. I mean, it's not as big, it's not as whatever, but Friday nights are fun. But then college football is its own deal, and it's amazing. Been a part of some special places and done some different things, and the bounce house, from what I'm hearing, is a great experience as well. I'm looking forward to seeing our fans, and because I know our players, I hear them talk about it all. Coach, you just wait till we play a game. That, you know, fans are going crazy, so it'll be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to it. Getting excited already, probably. All right,
Appreciate it. Thank you, Coach. Appreciate it.